Hi everyone. Welcome to the now more annual than the Goodman annual live stream for the holidays. We do this every year because gaming has created a family. I know, especially for me, I consider everyone in this community my second family. Um, I love seeing you guys, and in the holidays, it's tough to find time to see your second family because we are so busy with everything else this season brings. Personally, I just finished my finals week, which is part of the reason this has been so last minute as it has. But welcome to your holiday family. We look forward to sharing all of our new life updates, things to come, what the last year brought, what the new year will bring. So turn on your fake fireplace like I have. Tune in, get a nice cup of hot cocoa, and get ready for some chaos as we get in our family time for the holidays. All right, our first guest of the holiday season is Santa. Welcome, Mr. Brinkman. It is amazing to have you. Good to see you. What have you been up to this season?
Oh, it's good to see you too. Let's see, what have I been up to? A lot. Still working through playtests for Caverns of Thracia,
Very exciting. How
and
are those going?
they're going really well. We haven't had any TPKs, although it's come close a couple times.
Okay. You got to get on that. I mean,
Big Troy Tucker and Rick Hall both died the same night. Not their
get
character,
it.
but no. But it
Yeah,
was
the characters, right? I
it
always
was
forget that player
So
character
it's
difference.
brutal, and there's other things related to Thracia that are being kind of tested out and things of that nature. So that's a lot of fun, just being immersed in, I think, as Chris Doyle calls it, the Janelaverse.
Yeah.
So you're going from Dark Tower to Caverns of Thracia has been a lot of fun so far.
Good. I'm glad.
Then and then been working with Ashraf Braden in Uganda. We released the hard copy zine Legends of Uganda at Gen Con. We just released his latest microzine to Drive Through RPG. So all the more fun, lots of cool cultural goodness coming there.
That's
And
awesome. I remember we got our hard copies at, I think it was Gen Con. It's hard to remember these days. Um, what
well,
we get where.
and what have you been up to? I mean, have you been running any games, killing any people, slaying people for the
I
holidays,
I
burning
actually
them
was
in the
just
cold?
talking to someone today about maybe starting up a game in Iowa City. It's very loose. I do work full time in addition to being a full time student, so it's an ongoing struggle to try and find time in my life for gaming. But I did just actually, I'll talk about this again later with my dad, but sign up to run some games at GaryCon for the first time. Normally, GaryCon is my playing convention, and Gen Con is my running convention. So this is going to be my first time at GaryCon actually putting on the judge's hat, and it's gonna be fun. I'm very excited. It'll mean I'll have to rein in my convention partying a little bit.
Are you running enough to earn the cool free T-shirt?
Great question. I signed up for two, so I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah. No, I am taking it nice and slow because that is also in the middle of the semester for me. So again, it has to be preparing during school. So the student, the work, the gamer, it's all constantly butting heads. But
John, you're young. Can't you
there's
game till like 4 a.m.?
yeah, no, I can totally handle that. I don't go to bed at 9 p.m. What? I'm
I don't go to
21.
bed at 9
Yeah,
p.m. What's
I
wrong
party
with
all
you?
the time. No, but there are two very local gaming stores that I love, so I'm going to hopefully be able to get some hours in there soon. So, gamers in Iowa City, keep your eyes out because I'm gonna be tearing up the town.
We still have not yet found a friendly local gaming store in Marion, Indiana. Now that we have relocated from Florida to some place that has weather,
Yeah.
but that got me thinking about running more games next year. And Brendan had reminded me. I ran. It was like 2 years ago, maybe it was 2 or 3 years ago now. I ran 113 games. And so for next year, I'm shooting for 150 road crew, a total of 200 games for next year. I've already
I'm
got
gonna
for
just
70. booked.
I happen to have this on hand, and it feels as though it should go to you for that because, oh my word, that is so many games. Thank you for contributing that much, carrying the weight of the rest of us slacking on your back.
Well, I've already submitted 70 games through August, which isn't enough yet to get me to that number. So, but I've got my Gary Con games booked and things of that nature. I don't have anything yet for the next Cyclops Con because it's
I
not
don't know
going
if
to
you
be
can see my eye twitching, but it's physically twitching at the thought of 70 games before August. That is truly incredible.
Well, and keep in mind that I don't get to run or play games at Gen Con, so I have to take a break that week. But
Yeah. Oh, then that makes so much sense. You're right. That's an easy number to achieve if you count that.
well, it lets me sleep after all the games I'm running. So I figure between all of the play tests that I'm running, as well as all of the con games, 150 to 200. That's my goal for this year.
That is an incredible contribution to the community.
It just means I finally get to play more games.
Yeah.
Or run, but running's fun too. I mean, running is still playing.
I've fallen in love with running. You know, when I was younger and I started running games, I would definitely prefer to play, and then I'll run some games. You know, when I've definitely fallen in love with running games much more as I've grown into. I mean, getting to murder people, characters, getting to murder characters, not people, is always a fun time that I have never once gotten bored of, and I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah, there we are. Everything locked up
I was
on me
gonna
for a
say, I'm
second. It
like,
might have been
I
me.
think we lost him, but as long as you're back.
There we are. Now I'm back. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun, and I get to share a table with a lot of cool people. And this year I'll be able to run some games in person again, but most of it's going to be online.
Yeah, I will say the online platforms have made running games a lot easier and a lot more accessible for a lot of people that I didn't, people who don't have gaming stores in Marion, Indiana. It's definitely nice to have that connection that I think is one positive that came from, I try and pull no regrets in life. We move forward and we learn what we do. And I think one thing that came from 2020 is a wonderful strengthening of the community throughout nationwide in things like this.
I'm not sure that number is numerical, but I don't remember a year 2020.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was no year 2020.
Yeah, it
That's
depends
much
who you
worse.
ask. I think we can all collectively agree that's one to
Yeah.
toss. But like I said, we've gained from everything, right?
Exactly. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, so what do we have looking other than running an incredible amount of games? Do we have any new stuff coming in the new year, Sanctum Sanctorum? Any super fun things coming up that way?
Well, we've set up our schedule for the next Sanctum Sanctorum episodes, and we did just have the Michael Moorcock, our second Michael Moorcock interview, and if we're lucky, maybe we'll squeeze a third in next year. Now that we're finally starting to get settled in, Sanctum Quarterly, which has come out so far as frequently as the DCC Annual, we'll hopefully get back on track. We've got all the materials for the next issue, so we need to get that out. And there's other things in the works. Skull and Crossbones Classics issues 2 and 3 have been languishing while I have been thank you. While I've been working on Goodman projects, and I can't complain. I like the work, and it's fun. So there's plenty of stuff on the horizon. I just can't talk about most of it.
That's secrets.
Secrets.
That is more than fair. It's always fun to hear that there's exciting stuff on the horizon. But I
What
would
about you? When are we seeing something published from you?
That's a great question.
There's got to be a line of it, either Joe or third-party publishers that are like, give us the Haley Sketch Death Mod.
You can ask my father about this. This started when I was 18 on the drives to Wisconsin, Eau Claire, trying to brainstorm. I have ideas, but getting them on paper, finding the time, and then not hating them immediately once they're down is a struggle. I'm still trying to overcome my my writer's skills of I have a great idea and then the second I put it on paper I hate it. And it needs to
Oh,
be trashed. I need to
that doesn't really change. No matter what it is, whether you're recording something, you're writing something, you almost never want to read it again. You never want to
yeah.
listen to it again. But you should just talk to. I'm looking at you wearing your headphones. I'm thinking you need to talk to Brendan and do some X crawl.
Yeah, that's true. I would love to do that actually. That's a great point. I had
See,
things I'm not see 2024 people, it's gonna be new and improved, everything's better all the time. That actually would be, I think, a great way to start because I really am. I've been trying. I started with maybe I'll do DCC and then maybe I'll do MCC and then maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do this, and that's the other thing. I have 1,000 ideas, 1,000, and my brain needs to find its zen, find its
just
moment.
just do what we did at Sanctum. Just start like a free monthly zine and just keep writing stuff and just until you can stand to look at it.
Yeah, that's the other problem. I'm a perfectionist, so I refuse to, unless it is perfect and a work of art in my mind, I refuse to let anyone see it ever. I struggle to share ideas with Boss Man, my father sometimes, because I'm so perfectionist on the inside that it is
But
and I've
you'll
grown up
never be.
around no, never, never, ever. And I know that deep down, but I've grown up around fantastic writers and I have these beautiful examples of works that I would love to put my mark on and create. So it goes to show that everyone struggles.
It's like getting to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's a notebook somewhere back in my childhood bedroom that I'll grab next when I go home tomorrow, full of ideas that
Or
I will
maybe we can
bring.
have your dad run upstai's and he can read
Dad,
selected passages from it during show tonight.
he wouldn't know which journal to grab. I don't think, luckily. He's gonna grab my 14-year-old diary, and we're gonna hear about my middle school crushes. Yeah, I will. I will commit to putting more effort into that in 2022. Okay, I just saw him leave frame, and I'm gonna need confirmation that that's not. um, no, I will commit to putting more effort into that. That's a good New Year's resolution for myself. Normally, I'm like, go gym, get strong. So this, I think, is a much more productive resolution. So 2024 maybe will be the year of Haley completing a work.
There you go.
Yeah. I've written little bits for, DCC college and zine stuff, but never never enough. Never enough. Yeah. So I'm sure there will be plenty to come in the years. I have some ideas that I've been.
Well, good. And
Yeah.
hopefully it will terrify players across the globe.
I hope so. I'm trying to do a nice mix of terrifying with a touch of there's a reason to do it, I swear. One of you might live. I do tend to overstat. I'm learning as I stat. You mean a
That's what
plus eight?
playtesting's for.
Yeah. You mean a +8 on attack is too much? No.
One hit killed an entire funnel's worth of gong farmers. Okay, we
Yeah.
need to tone this back a little bit.
Yeah. So I think actually this is a great time to ask you a very important question, Mr. Brinkman. What
Yes.
is the seventh Doom quest of Delisle Kroom?
So it's like the DCC version of the King in Yellow. It is something that you will read and it will drive you utterly mad, while strange masked figures haunt you through fog-ridden streets.
You heard it here first, folks. And we will be right back. And we are back with a very familiar face for a lot of you, Mr. Brendan LaSalle. Welcome. Happy holidays. How are you?
Happy holidays. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for having me on the
Good.
special.
Of course, of course. When I think of my gaming family, you are a pillar of that family, of the community. So of course we had to have you to talk about what you've been up to this year and do a little 2023 wrapped with a bow on top.
Sure. Well, I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Of course.
So 2023, you know what, the started off, it was all X crawl. It was all, getting all the stuff in the beginning of the Kickstarter, the whole campaign, and now it ends also with X crawl, where I'm reading PDFs and looking at layout and looking at art coming up. So this has pretty much been my X crawl year, gaming wise. It's like
Couldn't think of a better year.
no, I'm so excited. and
I am so excited for this to be, now that it's published, now that it's out, now that there are games. I'm so excited for it.
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I really am too. And we're gonna do I'm gonna go. I think I can announce it. We're doing an X-Crawl tournament this year at Gen Con, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. So we're looking for judges. So if you're interested in that, Brendan at GoodmanGames.com. I know you all have my address, but hit me up. We'd love to have you aboard. And but yeah, I've been looking. I spent a lot of this last couple of weeks looking at art and reading over PDFs and finding every time you read something you've already published, you find like 1 die 6 worth of typos that you missed the first time. It's there's no getting around it. So
Yep.
It's quantum. If you read your book more, there are more typos.
Yeah, they appear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you heard that discussion. We were just having that lovely discussion about writing and how not to hate your work.
It's hard, but the beauty of writing gaming stuff is that you can write it, run it, change it, run it, change it, run it. The play testing really is a big part of the writing. That just the initial getting it down. It's only you can only hate it so much. You have to actually run it a couple times before you can really go, oh, this is a stinker. So.
Yeah, and I will say, Brendan, you've done something I've never experienced that is incredible, that my dad and I still love and talk about to this day, where you just create an adventure as you're going through it. And that is a skill that I am not sure I know many people that have, and I just need you to know that that is incredible, and that is we're gonna do this for you now. I'm gonna give it to everyone. It is truly an incredible skill to be able to just have that much creativity flowing through your body and that much, yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Your imagination and your creativity is a muscle, and you can work it and get better at it, and just do it enough time in the business. But I'll tell you what, because that was at GaryCon this past year. I did the DCC. I forget what I call it. The
experiment.
DCC experiment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the doing that has got me better at doing that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I recommend take on those challenges, create those moments for yourself that it really, where you're going to have to stretch yourself at a table in front of a bunch of strangers, like who paid money to like sit in your presence. You know what I'm saying? It will sharpen you up real quick.
No, but there's no pressure there. That seems like a very relaxed environment, personally.
The most normal thing in the world for anyone to, so.
Yeah. So you mentioned it a minute ago, and I know about it, so it was feigned shock. But the DCC, or I should say, the X-Crawl tournament next year at Gen Con. How excited are we? Are we looking forward to it? Are we planning? I personally can't wait. You know me in tournaments.
Absolutely.
Shaking hands every year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm very excited to take a look at that and dive into that. Do we have any more sneak peeks, or is it just that it's X-Crawl and that it will be at Gen Con? I don't know how much you can say. I'm just digging.
Yeah, I don't know how much more, if there's anything else I can say about it. But I will say this. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be huge. Hopefully we'll be in the stadium again, because I love playing in the stadium.
It's so nice. Oh my God, I love it so much.
Right.
I don't have to compete with you volume-wise.
And I feel like I can really kind of go crazy and really, be loud. Mind you, I was mostly in the Wizard van this past time, so you can only get so loud in there.
Yeah,
but
echoes real well. Although I feel like the shag carpeting might absorb a lot of sound. That is very, very exciting. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a heck of a good time, and super excited. So I hope people come and play and have a good time and get their X-Crawl faces on, because it's gonna be so serious. So serious.
You heard it here first, folks. I need characters to kill at the next tournament. So sign up, get your badges, show up. We would love to have you, and I'd love to kill you.
Start putting your teams together right now.
Yeah. Yes, plan your teams immediately. There's it, like we were just discussing earlier. I lack planning skills, so the earlier you start, the better it is. So I've decided the next annual holiday special, I'm already writing up here, and it'll already be a lot less thrown together. So do that with your team. Start planning now. It helps. It does.
Cool names. I want your coolest names. So brainstorm them.
Characters. You need good character names.
Good character names.
Lean into it, people. It makes
A
it so much more fun
theme.
for all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so exciting. How would we describe the X Crawl year other than fantastic, amazing, beautiful, perfection? Give us a good way to describe
Oh, thank you.
it.
For me, it was intense. I had to do a lot of lot of podcast interviews, a lot of that kind of thing, like going on there. And at one point during all that, I was like, "Wow, I'm so over talking about myself. I never want to." You know what I mean? I was just like, "Geez, can I just
Brendan, please
But
talk about yourself more.
I know, right? But it was at the end of it, it's always fun to do. It was just like it was every day, twice a day. I was doing something like that. So, but I had a great time, and I feel like I have an excellent crew that's working on Xcrawl now. The artists and the writers and Mike Curtis putting it all together and being at the top of it. I've never actually had a person on top of there like the whole Xcrawl thing other than myself. So it's going to be way better, like way better.
Atlas, but
Oh
you're
gosh.
sharing the world.
Yeah. So
That's so exciting. I love that it's out, that it's fine. Like we can have it. It's here. The tournament, I'm so excited for. There's just so much fun stuff to come. I love Xcrawl. Ever
thank
since I
you.
started playtesting it, it's one of those things that just found its way into my heart and has not let go.
Aw, well, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
You
of
were in some
course.
really early X crawl stuff when at Gen Con. I mean, you were still like there's a moment in my head when like the Haley blow up when it's like, oh hi Haley, they're like, oh hi Haley, and it was just like so
Yeah,
it was pre glow up. You were still
still
like
tiny. Yeah,
yeah. I'm not
not
good
eye to
with
eye.
children's. No, 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 no. I'm not good with children's ages, but you look like you might be carrying a lunchbox during the week, like
Got
that
it.
age.
I mean, I
You know.
still do, so
See, I'm bad at this kind of thing. So.
Yeah, no, I have a lot of fond memories of that lunchbox age playing X-Crawl and at conventions and yeah, it's very exciting times to finally see it all come. It's watching something go from playtesting with you guys to having it worked on, talking about it, to then finally seeing it published. It's like it's how I imagine you guys seeing me grow up. You know what I mean? Like
Huh.
I see your work grow as you see me grow. And it's a fun little I get to see you guys grow too.
Oh, that's really cool. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, since you guys are always telling
Huh.
me how quick I grow, I might as well flip the
Thanks.
script on you a little bit.
I feel like I'm still in a growth writer phase because if I go back and look at the last thing I published at any time, I'm like, you can write better sentences than that. So.
Yeah. Sentence work, I'm gonna have to work on that one. Commas, run-on sentences, those are my absolute favorites. If you check any email I send, there's a run-on in there.
There's you have to have editors and then do what they say.
Yeah.
Take your editor seriously.
Yeah, so I think now's the perfect time to ask you, Brendan, what is the
Absolutely.
seventh Doom quest of Delisle Kroom?
All right, we've been friends for much too long for me to ever lie to you. Okay, it's the smartest and coolest thing we've ever done.
Incredible.
Thank you very
Incredible.
much.
Of course. Thanks for coming, Brendan.
Absolutely.
And we will be right back. And we are back with another very familiar face, usually in tandem with Mr. LaSalle. Michael Curtis, how are you, Mr. Curtis? How are your holidays?
Doing wonderful, and I'm such in the holiday spirit because I am here on the annual Haley specials, holiday special. So
The annual, which is a word that it's a loose meaning, right? We could all redefine annual as
he never
whatever
said
it needs.
he never said what planet.
You're,
it's we still got
that
like another
is
like 30 years of a Jupiter. So
that is the best response to that. That's how I'm answering anyone who asks about the Goodman annual in the Facebook page. Never specified the planet.
never specified what planet was.
And next year I'll be opening the holiday special with annual on Earth. I will clarify because I've been being so vague in my annual statements.
That doesn't work in higher education, however. So so if you're late on an assignment, don't tell your professor they didn't specify what planet.
All right, I'm gonna have to someone erase that note wherever I wrote that. Someone erase that. I don't think. Yeah, my psych professors would love that as much as I
There's
would.
always one who would, but that's the problem.
That's true. My astronomy professor would love that. Sadly, I already finished that course and passed, so we won't be revisiting the planets anytime soon. So what have you been up to in the wonderful year that flew by, known as 2023?
It's been an interesting year. People may have heard there were some events that occurred over the course of the year that I spent. I've just finished my second year as director of product development for Dungeon Crawl Classics. So I spent the first year learning how to do my job, and then I spent the last year learning how to do my job because everything changed. So, so
Because if life were easy, what's the point?
it is. So, I mean, at some point, I feel like I should be able to rest on my laurels, but apparently that's not yet. So,
I feel that that's very DCC. I think it's your work embodies itself. Right as you think, I'm level 3, I've got this figured out. No, you don't. No, you don't. And now you're all dead. Good luck starting over. So
yeah, yeah.
I think your work it speaks to itself.
Mhm. Yeah, so this year it's basically everything that every other Goodman Games person is going to be on the show and talk about what they did. That's me, because I've had a finger in everything.
Yep.
But so it's literally been DCC past, present, and future. I feel like Scrooge.
Yeah,
Literally.
you've got the ghosts right there with you.
We're getting ready to reprint Purple Planet, so there's the past. We're working right now on we're working like X Crawl right now, for example. That's one of the big things, and we have 2024 kind of laid out, and today we were having some interesting meetings about 2025, 2026. So we're looking far down a field. So
I thought I was getting ahead planning next year's holiday special. Wow, all right. You guys really have me beat.
And we get bigger and bigger, so the ideas get bigger and bigger, so it means we have to start planning sooner and sooner. So
That's so exciting, though. It's always good to hear that we're planning into the future, and since we are getting bigger, we get to do bigger things, and we get to see incredible work that is played out over
exactly.
time.
Where once I just had like a little brush and I was able to fill in a little bit part of the DCC mural. Now my brush is much bigger and I just make a big sloppy mess on it, but I'm like painting all over it, and then it's
Yep.
somebody else's job to come in
There's
there.
someone who comes in and does detail work later. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what art is, at the end of the day, and I would describe Goodman and DCC products in general as art. That's how I would describe that.
Thank you, and not just a big brush slappering paint all over the place.
Yes, no, it is artwork. It may be abstract at times, but
obviously, you said, usually Brendan and I are paired up, but for the last couple of months, it's been Harley and I have been paired up because we've been doing the Return to the Purple Planet show. So we've been kind of reminding people what the Purple Planet was, because
it's been a while.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new faces around the DCC scene over the last couple of years. It was like some major event happened that had everybody at home and they were checking out new games. So
Crazy. We wouldn't know what that would be, and it would be the year that shall not be named, but it is. Yeah.
So we were having a deep dive, and in some cases, we hadn't looked at it in a while. Harley had to go back and reread everything. We had Terry Olson was on the show the last 2 weeks ago, and he was just like, I have to reread my adventure. And I was like, trust me, it's been a long time, right? So,
yeah, I think I remember playing Purple Planet when Connor was still in the picture.
Yeah.
I think that's how long it's been on that one. We played it together, and it got violent. Yeah, so last time Connor played at a convention I was probably 10.
Probably. Yeah, 2014, I think that was around, so believe it or not, it was almost a decade ago.
I was 12. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So
that's scary that was a decade ago. Oh, it sneaks up on you, folks.
Yeah.
That's very exciting, though, that it is making its grand return.
And it's not coming by itself either, because we have it's our third Tome Adventure, and people are like, wait a minute, no, it's actually our fourth Tome Adventure, and people are like, I have one Tome Adventure. Like, where are these other ones? So we're doing the same thing we did with Tome Adventure, which wherever we left off in Tome Adventure, which I have on my notes somewhere, but we take it, I think, to 79.5. I think we get up to there at the point. So so we're putting those all together, and then we're putting the Lankmar adventures together in another tome, and then we're going to have Purple Planet coming out, and so
So what I'm hearing is I should pick up extra shifts because my tuition money is going straight to you guys. I'm excited to see the shelves grow because my childhood bedroom is going to become a library at a certain point.
Well, I mean, we can stop producing stuff, but I think, people get
I think that would hurt more. That's the tough part. I know it's a love-hate. I love to see it, and then I hate that it takes up most of my well, when he goes, it'll be mine, I guess. So.
At the Goodies Award next year, we will honor you for sacrificing your bedroom so that the DCC line can continue. So your dad can keep buying product and have a place to put it.
I suggest it. They refuse. My mom is very much don't touch her bedroom. That is her room, and that is when she comes home, she needs a place. And I said, take it all out, and you make that a library, and then I'll sleep in the library when I come home, and that feels like a win.
I completely agree.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys actually need to crank up the production so that we have to move all the bookcases in there.
Basically, what you're saying, we need to start making bigger books so that
Yeah.
we can put a mattress on top of them, and then
Yes, I want that room to be nothing wall-to-wall books, and then some windows. Yeah, that's very exciting stuff, though. I love to hear it.
Welcome our new DCC release, which is the size of a headboard.
You're just designing a bedroom now, and it's just those are the new releases. The thing is, the lovely and scary part about this community is now that you've said that, I'm sure someone is going to make it.
Yes.
It will appear on the Facebook page in a year-ish, and we're gonna have to accept that that's now a reality. That we spoke it into existence.
I have long ago accepted the strangest things from my reality. There was a time, it was 2 years ago at Gen Con, and I was sitting eating a turkey sandwich in the Wizard van at the 20-yard line in a major NFL stadium. I said, my life is pretty strange.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. There are some turns of events I never saw coming. I was just showing someone videos today of the Lucas. I was like, oh yeah, I run games on Lucas Oil, and they're like, you what? I'm like, no, wait, I should clarify, not football ones. I run different games on Lucas Oil. Yeah, there are some events that it's incredible to see the growth, and I can't wait to see where it will take me in my lifetime to see if at 21 we're in Lucas Oil, well, by the time I'm 50 it'll be the moon.
No. Yeah, I mean, that's why my job is so great, because I don't have to worry about things like driving the DCC line directly into the ground at any time, So
no pressure at all, sir.
No.
Easy and laid back. Yeah. Well, no matter what, you're going to sell at least 2 or 3 copies of everything. I guess if you count between Mr. Brinkman, Mr. Sketch, and Mr. Kitchen, I'm pretty sure you're going to sell roughly 10 copies of whatever you print.
Yep, right. I can afford a sleeping bag, so I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
Not sleeping on the hard concrete myself, right? That's why Joe retains the veto, stamp. So if I come up with an idea, like, no, all right.
Yep, big no on that one. Someone has to have that power.
Yeah.
That's very exciting, though. I love to see all the things that are to come. Which, speaking of which, I have a very important question to ask you, sir. What is the 7th Doom Quest of Delisle Croom?
The worst named restaurant on the Jersey Turnpike. That's just you don't want to stop at that one. That's terrible.
Skip over that one.
No, I would say that is so. It's going to be so awesome when you finally see it. But we can't find a printer who is willing to put all that down in physical format. They're afraid they'll go mad. No.
So don't go mad, folks, and we'll be right back. And we are back. I hope you didn't go mad over that break. I am here with a face I'm sure you all recognize. I have to open with an apology. The annual joke was a low blow. And how are you, sir? How are you doing these holidays?
That joke's been going around for a few years, believe it or not.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty good. How are you, Haley?
I'm living. Finals are over. It is this, and then I'm home for the holidays.
So I have to tell you, when I was in college, I almost flunked out because I played so many games. And I really see that as, that's the kind of people I want to hire for my company. So Are you getting good grades, or are you playing games? We need to establish what the proper course is.
I'll send you my GPA, and that'll answer all your questions.
Okay. I played a lot of games in college, and it was not good for my grades.
It's a fine line to walk. I did that the first 2 years. I played a lot of games, and so now I'm playing catch up on maybe a few less games, but I still have I have the DCC artwork lining my walls, Weird Frontiers. I have my Lankmar poster up, so it's still the teenage bedroom of a nerd. I have, HP Lovecraft filled shelves, but I just balance it a little better these days.
No, that's awesome. I started reading Robert E. Howard to my older son when he was like maybe 10 or 11, and he loved Howard the Elephant. But I tried to read him Call of Cthulhu a couple months ago. He is not ready for that. He just
I'm not ready for that.
Yeah. 11's a little young. Maybe what
Yeah.
are you, 16? 16's a little young too.
Getting close. Yeah, almost there. Almost got my license.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I when we did Dying Earth, I tried to dig into that. It's still on my nightstand. It has bested me every time I've opened it.
No, you need like a dictionary besides you to read Jack Vance.
Yeah.
Like
Well, and
every time I read them.
The dictionary doesn't help because it's made up. It's nonsense words.
Right, half the words are neologisms. Yeah,
so you're like, oh, I need a dictionary. You pull out the dictionary, and then it doesn't help even a little bit. You need a Vancian dictionary for that.
Yeah, for sure. So, Haley, I was driving around my town the other day, and Elena, maybe you can cue this up. I think you know where I'm going, Haley.
I do.
But I happened to drive by this road, and I had never, I don't know, it's just a different turn or whatever. I'd never passed this road before. Elena, can you show this picture on the screen? You know the one I'm talking about? All right. So this is a real street in San Rafael, California. Judge Haley Drive. Is that funny or what? I guess she was somebody famous? I don't know.
Yeah, that is incredible. No, it's for me. We can,
Yeah.
I don't know why we're assuming it's not for me. No, that made my jaw drop, and a little. I won't admit to any crimes on camera, but hypothetically, there was a time in my life where my redheaded best friend and I made an attempt on, again, hypothetical attempt on a street called Ginger Way, and it took all of our combined brain power, and we still didn't achieve our goal. So I think that's going to be our next stop, and it will still be there in 10 years because we are incapable of successfully committing a heist.
That's probably a good thing, but it was pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that email and I was like, that is probably the most interesting thing I'm going to see today, and it works out perfect. Do I go? Oh, I blew it. I should have put Judge Haley.
Oh, yeah.
I ruined my...
Yeah.
I'll just take the sign and wear that next year.
Yeah, as far as Christmas lists go, that should probably be at the top of your Christmas list.
Yeah, you're right. I think I'll have to get some elves on that.
Yeah.
That joke will make sense later to our other viewers. Yes. How are you doing this holiday season? How is the Christmas list going? How's the family? How's everything?
No, going pretty good. Yeah, my the latest addition to my family is my 83-year-old father, who has moved close now. Because some of the other people around here know this story, not as a joke, but for real. People get old, you got to move them close, take care of them. So the good news is both my 83-year-old father and my 5-year-old love the Three Stooges. It's like the TV show that bridges the divide. So, because it's very sophisticated humor. So we hang out and watch the Three Stooges together, and they both start laughing at the same time when like Mo gets punched or the little whatever.
It's
all that
perfect.
Stuff. So that's been our TV show of choice lately for the sort of cross-generational hangouts.
Yeah, that's perfection, and it goes to show that you never lose your inner child, and you do go full circle. And some things age beautifully, like the Three Stooges.
Yeah. Well, it's really funny. I went to Best Buy. I had to get the TV for like my dad's room in the old folks home. And I was like, I need the cheapest TV you got, man. And like, a DVD player that can't be destroyed. And they kept trying to talk me up to like 4K, HDMI cable, whatever. And I was like,
72-inch.
Right. And there's nothing you can do to improve this DVD of 100-year-old Three Stooges videos. Like, no matter what you do,
you can try.
It's gonna look the same.
Yep. So, you can try your best.
No, they really tried to talk me up to this, but I think I spent like $130. I didn't know they made TVs that cheap anymore.
I didn't
like a TV
either.
and a DVD for and he had to like rummage around and find like the cheap one and the crappy DVD player. And there was like, remember those old school cables that had like the white, the yellow, and the red? Like plugs. They still had some of those somewhere.
That
so
one
anyway.
I've got. That's a memory I have.
Yeah. Okay,
Earlier we were discussing dials and how that's a generational thing, but the colored cables I have from my Wii days.
You remember those? Yeah.
Yeah,
Good old days.
those. And then they never actually meant what they were like. You could put the red in the white and it wouldn't make it. I don't understand how all that
really?
works. Yeah, you could absolutely get them wrong and it would still work
I
just
had
fine.
no idea.
Yeah. That's what happens when you let a child play with cables.
Yes, I know.
Things get broken or you learn they work.
Yeah, that's also what happens when you let an 83-year-old play with cables.
Yeah. But yeah, now you know it is 83-year-old proof because it was 13-year-old proof.
Okay, that's good. Well, I was telling you guys pre-show too. My mom got a gift from my boys. She bought them old school radios. Like actual radios with like antennas and dials, which neither one of them has ever experienced in their life. And so we drive places now and they each have their radio in their lap and I explained the difference between AM and FM, which is the letter A or F because I don't know the science behind it. But one has an A and one has an F.
Yep.
And they just dial in the stations and they're all excited. They're like, what's that name? I got a Dua Lipa song or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what we've been doing lately is when we drive places, they play with their radios and
that is
remarkable.
Fantastic. Yeah. I had never considered that something so simple could be so fascinating to.
I mean, Haley, have you ever used an old school radio with like the
I have. Oh yeah.
And the dial and all that
stuff?
stuff?
Yeah. I grew up I grew up in a time with my dad's alarm clock still had the radio and then you'd play with it and get yelled at because he thought he turned your alarm off or like the little handheld emergency ones that you'd crank that had the really long you'd crank every time there was I'm from the Midwest, there was a tornado warning, you'd be cranking it trying to listen, are we all gonna die, is this the end of days? And then you never did and it all worked out beautifully.
There's always a next time. Don't you worry.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always a time for a crank and a dial and antennas and beautiful things that I had never experienced and would never experience without, lovely tornado warnings in the basement.
Yeah. No, it's funny though how technology goes full circle and how entertaining a radio can be, at least for now.
Yeah. They will age out of that, I think. That's probably one that I might put money on them aging out of. But yeah, the more dials and things, the more fascinating I feel like it is to the youths.
The funny part is they're really into Simpsons. I remember watching the premiere of Simpsons when I was like, I don't know how old I was. Simpsons is on like season 39 or 52 or 24 or whatever. It is crazy.
Yeah, and it is. I think it's almost 40s they're approaching season wise.
Okay, it's because they're all on whatever Disney Plus, whatever that is. And like the stuff I watched as a kid is there and like the next 30 seasons or whatever it is. Yeah, it's amazing.
It is. That's one of those like Family Guy I've gone back and watched all the way through. But
Family Guy was great. I forgot about that one.
The Simpsons, I don't have enough time in my life, I think, to devote to starting over from the beginning. And there are jokes that would just right over my head. As
an adult watching it with my children, half the time I cringe, but they don't get most of those jokes. So luckily, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. As a former child, I can say they go right over our heads.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Well now it feels like we have in the 35 seasons.
Oh, man.
It is. We have a Google Assistant with us. Now it feels like a fantastic time to ask though, what is the 7th Doom quest of Delisle Croom?
First of all, I think it's Delisle.
Delisle. I can't.
Delisle. And at first, somebody slurred earlier, and I thought they said, "What is the 7th urinal of Delisle?" And sorry, this reminds me of another story. I had to take my son to the emergency room because he broke his arm. And in the emergency room, they give out an award to the nurses called the Golden Bedpan. They had this like giant like plaque, like you'd win if you won something. But it had a bedpan spray painted gold and the names of all the nurses that had won, I guess, for whatever. Yeah, whatever you win the Golden Bedpan for. But my son was like, "What's a bedpan?" And so we had to have this long explanation as to what a bedpan was before we even got to like what the Golden Bedpan is.
Yeah.
So does that answer your question about what the 7th Doom of Delisle is?
I think that perfectly sums it up.
Okay. All right.
We'll be right back. We are back, and this time I'm back with a lovely guest. Wow. The Elder Scatch, my dear father, the creator of everyone's worst nightmare, yours truly. How are you, Papa?
Good. Just finishing up my Christmas decorations and
A very DCC Christmas, some might argue.
yeah.
Very good use of tuition money, others might argue.
Hey, your tuition money is really Joseph's kids' tuition money. That's
you know what? We're
I'm
paying
still
it forward.
paying for college, just somebody else's.
We're paying it forward. Oh my gosh. This is so Santa's elf, I don't know if you heard earlier. Get on that.
Wait. Wait, what? Did you ask for something?
I did. Okay. Well, anyway, so I actually brought you on here to talk about a couple things. One, I said I would discuss later in the show, which is my GaryCon games that I'm running, which will be parent and kid games. I have signed up for 2 slots that are specifically designed for parents to bring their children to play with us. I grew up playing this game. I love this game, and it is something I'm super passionate about bringing to the next generation. And there's no one I'd love to talk about that more with than the man who started me rolling dice at 6 years old. Which, yes, everyone, they can roll dice at 6. We've tested it. So we were talking about something. I'll let you talk about SigPup, since it is your creation.
It's a joke, really. It was a joke and Joseph may remember this. I actually came up with it right around the time I talked to him at a Gen Con. This was when they had a booth that you could actually walk around in about 20 seconds. I'm going to guess it was about 2014, somewhere in that range, because the game had just barely been, I think we were still scrambling for dice back then. Joseph was talking to me about, I forget, it was basically kids and gaming and stuff, because you had already been at GaryCon 2 and 3 and 4 by then, I think, and playing in games. And I had joked that I was going to start the society to increase the gamer population using procreation, or SigPup for short, because for me, there was a lot of, I've been doing this for quite a while, since 1977. And so I'd seen a lot of waves of people coming into the games and so on and so forth. And one of the things I noticed was that when TSR changed hands and went on to be a different company, there seemed to be a lot of focus on chasing a younger crowd. That seemed to be kind of the way of things. The common wisdom was you chase the younger crowd because that's how you were going to get the business. And my argument to Joseph was, I thought it was a mistake. I thought it was a mistake because what you wanted was people, old jerks like me, to teach their kids how to play, because that was the way we all learned, not from our parents, but from other older kids and young adults and stuff who brought us kids in to learn how to play. And now that we had reached full cycle and we were old enough to have our own kids, we would be the ones to kind of pass on the torch to the next generation. And that by making games that appealed to old guys like me, you weren't going after a dead audience. You were going after the next generation, just one level indirected.
There's so many jokes about the dead audience I want to make that I will pass up on to low-hanging fruit. But this has been a passion project, I would say, for us for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I always try, we see it's a semi-annual thing, probably more annual than the annual, that we get questions in DCC RPG Rocks about, what do you about kids playing and so on and so forth. And I always try and answer those because I think because of our experience, we bring a slightly different perspective to the conversation than a lot of people do. I never coddled you guys.
Nope. My character started dying at age 6. Again, that's when I picked up dice. So
we never played Warm and Fuzzy. We never played any of the games that are kind of like theoretically geared towards kids. I brought you guys right in hardcore, not quite at the age of 6. I think it was probably about 8 when we really went to playing actual just D&D.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, actual D&D, yeah. 6 years old, I was rolling dice because my Little Ponies were going to war with my brother's army men. Yeah. We had to roll attacks. He tricked us into gaming, everyone.
That's how I tricked them into gaming. So yeah, it is kind of a passion thing that I think I think there's a generation of us gamers who you don't want to force it on your kids, but you certainly want to open their mind to the possibility. And I'm batting 500, which it puts me in the Hall of Fame.
I was gonna say 50% odds, people. But
so
it is
make
something.
sure you have two, so that way when you're only batting 500, at least one of them takes your place in the world.
It is something that is very important to me as a child who grew up in gaming, to create that space, because I was welcomed with open arms. There was a space for me at the table, and I think a lot of times, as much as people get frustrated by kids at the table, we have to remember that creativity, that excitement, that joy is unparalleled. You aren't going to find it anywhere else. And they are the next generation of gamers. We need to encourage that and create that space. And yeah, you might sigh when they grab the wrong die, but you know what? Those kids are going to be writing adventures for your kids one day, and you better support it. So I decided that I'm going to run some parent kid games. If you are a parent of a child and you play DCC, and you're going to make it to GaryCon, sign up. It's called Parents and Portals. I'm not sure if it's approved yet, but I'm very excited to sit down, teach some kids to play, and have some bonding time with parents and kids, because that's one of the things that keeps me and this old fart close.
Parents and Portals, Joseph, that's the shout out to Portal, because I still think it's actually this is heresy in this community, but I think it might be better than Sailors as a funnel.
You guys couldn't see that, but Joseph's face did a. So that is one of the things that I wanted to discuss, was kids in gaming, and it's very important to me, especially around the holiday time, to encourage this, because we are a family and families grow, and we need to accept that.
And one last note, that means if you see me put SigPup on a post in DCC RPG Rocks, or really any place else, I'm not being a jerk and I'm not insulting you. That's actually me.
Yes. That's encouragement. Encouraging words.
Encouragement. Yeah. Get your kids.
His encouraging words get confusing. You just roll with it. A lot of times it's, Haley, run faster. If you're playing sports. So, encouraging is what we call those.
Break his arms off. Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to discuss, which we don't have a ton of time for, but I'll throw it your way real quick, Papa, to discuss Vaunted Gauntlet. I want you to talk about it.
Vaunted Gauntlet. Yeah, this has been something I've been trying to work on for a long time. It's one of the things about Lankmar is I've always been a huge fan of the funnel for a lot of reasons, and I know all the reasons for it, but there's no real funnel in Lankmar, and that always bothered me. And so I was trying to figure out, yeah, right, that's right, Mike, I'm second guessing your wisdom. Which is fraught with all kinds of peril doing that. And Joseph and Michael have a much better grasp on things than me, which is why they're probably never going to look at this or publish it. But it's a 0-level funnel for Lankmar, and I wrote it as a tournament and kind of modeled it after Hypercube of Might, for those of you who remember, way back in the early mists of time of DCC. That was a funnel that we did at GaryCon, and that table was raucous and crazy and fantastic and everything that's great about DCC. And so I wanted to kind of model it. So I have the Vaunted Gauntlet, where you've wronged the Thieves Guild, you're 0 level, but you've done something like smuggled when you weren't supposed to, and now they're going to throw you.
We've all been there,
right? Like stealing a street sign that you weren't sanctioned to steal, or something like that.
Hypothetically.
And so you get thrown into this thing called the Vaunted Gauntlet, and you have to try and survive. It's a meat grinder. That's your punishment for crossing the guild. So I put it on the books. It was approved. It's going to be 6 hours, and it's basically one of these tournaments where you sit down with a sheet, and for every encounter you survive, you get a stamp. If you die, you get a different stamp. And the person at the end with the most encounters survived is going to get a prize. So
it's very fun. It's very exciting. I've play tested it. It's fun. It's almost Haley approved.
Wow.
He's getting close, which is big for him. So we actually do have some extra time. So speaking of everyone else I've asked about their personal lives. I take yours for granted because I am part of it. But how are you doing this holiday season, boss man? What have you been up to?
Good. Just trying to, keep a handle on all the balance between work and life and holidays. And this is the first year where the ramp up to the holidays, we don't have either kid at home. Both of them are out of the house now, for the time being at least. And
And he's
so
sad about that, everyone. He's sad
you can
and
you can tell by how my voice is
heartbroken
almost
that
breaking
I.
over saying it. Yeah.
Yes.
We are taking back our house, which is wonderful. Little by little, we're getting our own house back. But it will be great to have the kids come home. We always love when they come home, at least for the first couple of days.
The first 2 days are civil. After that, there
Yeah,
are.
and then things start to break down rather quickly because
Yes.
it's so funny because they both moved out and then, they're all like, oh yeah, we keep our place clean. We do this, we do that. And then they come home and it's like it's like they're on vacation. They just come home and
I
go,
am.
oh, I guess I don't
I
have
am.
to keep this place clean. And so my house just goes to hell in a handbasket because they're leaving shit everywhere. So yeah, it's it's a blessing and a curse, as it always is. But no, we're looking forward to it. It's always it's always good to have all the family together. We'll see both my wife's and mine over the holidays, and it'll be good.
Good. Well, now is a perfect time to ask you a very important question. What is the seventh Doom quest of Delisle Kroom?
Um, I don't know how much Joseph wants me to say, but people are saying this will be more influential than the Holy Bible. Look, I'm not saying I'm saying it. I'm not saying these Goodman saying.
I mean, this feels like we'll be right back, everyone. Just to pretend, we'll be right back. Shh. All right, we are back with our final guest of the evening, who made a very special appearance and is currently at work and working his butt off to be here, and I'm so forever grateful for him. How are you, Mr. Kitchen?
I'm very well. Here I am on the island of misfit toys, enjoying
celebrating your holiday
season.
break. Yeah,
Right.
a nice holiday vacation on the island of misfit toys.
We are Santa's elves. We are Santa's elves.
Oh my gosh, I honestly forgot about that until
Right.
I saw that. So that's a great reminder for me to watch that movie before Christmas this year. How are you, Mr. Kitchen? How is your family? How's Jack? How's everyone?
The boy has arrived home from school, and for the second year in a row, the dog barked twice and then was so excited to see him, the dog just laid down on the ground to get belly scritches. I think otherwise, I think we're doing okay. It's been a tough year. We've all had some loss here and there. I'll be the first to say I'm missing Aaron a lot.
I just found a picture from Gary Kahn of us at the party, and it was tough.
And I'll just talk about this, right? Like, you're stuck with family, you're screwed with family, and you're screwed with coworkers, but you get to pick your friends, right? And that's the great blessing that we all have, right? Is that we get to sort of self-associate with people of our ilk. And this is a time of year where I know a lot of people struggle, right? I mean, Christmas is great if you're an 8 or 10-year-old, right? Like, holy crap, like, wheels up, hit
like
the
a kid on
jets.
Christmas.
That's right. But as you get older, this is the stuff that and when you get to a venerable age like my own, you start realizing what it is you really value. And while we all sit on hordes of things, mountainous piles of stuff.
My father.
Yes, he's off to a good start. But this is also that time of year where you really sort of reflect on your friends and your fellowship and so on, right? I know there are people who literally they watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies back to back on some day around between now and the start of the year. My weird Christmas tradition is that I always read Julian May's Saga of Peliasine Exile, all 4 books, at some point over the next week or two, because I met her just before Christmas one year, and it sort of kicked off a strange tradition. But all those little things don't really matter when you compare it all to you're rich in friends, right? You have things, but you're rich in friends. And so this is that time of year where you think about this stuff and you think about the year wrapping up and the year coming forward. And so all of that. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers to that. Like I said at the top of the show, this is for my found family. You know, I got blessed with a fantastic family by blood, and then I got blessed again with a fantastic found family. The people that I happily call family, and one day I'm gonna have a very large wedding because I have so many people to invite. These are.
I like that you lump me in, considering some of the pictures I have of you and other people and shenanigans, and I appreciate still being a part of your little Christmas elf show. This is quite good.
Of course. This is, you know, I can't have everyone I love on, but I can have some people on, and every year it is the highlight of one of the many highlights of my gaming time, is getting to just sit and talk and catch up with people that, you know, on the daily, who has the time? You know, I love you all dearly and I want to know what's going on in your lives, but on the daily, people have work, I have school, we all have a million different things pulling us in a million different directions. So it's so amazing to get to sit down and at the end of the year just we made it.
Amen.
We made it. It's a very nice time to sit down and sit with the found family.
So we got around to ask what people want for Christmas. Have we heard some of the various things?
I don't think anyone has actually yet. So, Mr. Kitchen, I will ask you, what would you like for Christmas?
Well, I got my Christmas present, right? So when the last time we moved, a box vanished, and it had all of my original art that I had collected between 1987 and about 1994, and it had been missing for almost 3.5 years. And so I had sort of written this off. I had really just, you know, there were nights where I would just wake up and cry. And 2 weeks ago on a Saturday night, I found a box where I opened it and I didn't recognize what was in it. And what the movers had done is they had consolidated 3 boxes into one, and they had dumped everything on top of all the artwork and so on and so forth. So nothing got damaged. But if you follow me on Instagram or we're connected on Facebook or whatever, you'll see that I posted a couple of things. But I found, you know, this is 30 plus, almost 40 pieces of Stephen Fabian original artwork, some animation cells, and so on and so forth. So literally everything from the first part of my collecting original art came back to me after being lost for a while. And so at
after
this point,
mourning its loss.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's all superfluous. Like it's all back in the fold. All my children have come home. So
yeah, that is incredible.
Yeah.
So. I have a much less fun story about finding stuff. I found keys to a cabinet the other day, and that was a big deal because I've been locked out of it since I moved.
But Mr. Brinkman, what are you looking for the festive Yuletide season? What are you hoping to find under the tree? He's motioning and not saying it, so that's good.
We are the only ones on screen right now for the stream, so it is.
Oh, good.
They're here.
I'm speaking to ethereal spirits.
Yes.
Bob is the ghost of Christmas past. Michael Curtis is the ghost.
He's
of
being
Christmas
summoned.
Brendan is the ghost of Crawl Future. It's quite lovely, actually. I like that.
Clanking of chain sound effect.
Why do we not do? We should do a Goodman Games. We should do a Goodman Games Christmas Carol, right? All play Scrooge. It fits. It works, right? And we can just go through. You know, let's look back at your gaming past, Jimmy. Oh, look at the fun times you had rolling polyhedral.
Snivy Marley.
Then, you know, we can come to the present and I'll be miserable and I never get to play. And then we can show me what the real dark future is, where all of my things go into a dumpster when I'm dead. And all of this collection of mine is wasted and gone. And if only I had friends. And then, you know, Brendan
and then we come to this part of the.
It will all change as soon as you begin playing Crawl, Jim. It will all change as soon as you roll into Crawl. I'll be like, oh, thank you, Brendan.
That's, you know what? I'm planning next year's holiday special. We're opening with that, and then it'll lead into the look at the friends I've found. So everyone expect a script that is roughly 45 pages long for next year. I should have it out to you about 2 days before the holiday
Yeah.
if my planning
luck with that.
stays
But
stays where
I
it's
love the
at.
notion. I love the notion of all the Goodman Games regulars as part of it. We can sort of riff off of Bill Murray's Scrooged, right? But I love the notion of Bob Brinkman being the ghost of Christmas past and being like, oh, look at these heady good times you had. You treasured that copy of B1. It was amazing. It changed your life. Whoa, ho, 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 right? We can all hear Bob doing that. And then we just sort of jump forward. Ho, ho, ho. Yes, you had the Holmes box set and it was good enough, and you didn't get into Edition Wars. Ha 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 ha.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, next year it's going on the whiteboard desk, everyone. Expect, like I said, an email about 2 days before Christmas. That's how I need a manager or a wrangler or something.
I love that you're illuminated by the unholy DCC light behind you. You're not even changing. Is it changing colors? It should be.
It automatically is rotating through colors. This is a beautiful product that is plugged in, so I can't move it as far as I thought I did.
So people can see that.
I
We
would
need to
love
talk about that, right? So nobody's talking about this as much as they should.
I don't
If
know
there
how to
is
make
one
it.
thing that you should buy your DCC acolytes, it's not a cult. If
Hang
there's
on.
one thing that you should buy for people for the holidays, it should be one of those
God.
damn DCC lights. Because every time I see one, I'm just like, ooh, I kind of covet that. Ooh, that would be a good night light. Ooh, that could get the neighbors talking. And really and truly, like I don't think we are discussing how cool that is, right? Like
You can see a reflection in there. I'll try and aim the reflection away from
10-year-old me would have passed out to own something like that. Like this is just too cool for words. So
yeah.
I'm putting in the plug right now. If you don't own one of the light up acrylic things, you need to get one of the light up acrylic things. It's spectacular.
Keep your eye on Facebook. I believe that there's a Christmas present under my tree at home that is very similar to that.
Wow.
It goes great with a gaming setup too. I have a very LED themed gaming setup and it goes beautifully with that, people. So if you're looking to stay on theme,
yes, that's what the
rotating
old
LEDs,
man is all about, is having coordinating colors for my many things that light up with LEDs.
The aesthetic matters.
Haley, but wow.
Elena knows what I mean. Elena gets me.
All right,
everyone hear that?
What else we got, Haley? I need to watch my time here before somebody starts cracking a whip.
No, we are good on time. I just, as long as everyone is doing wonderfully this year, that's all that matters to me. This is just my chance to catch up in between conventions, because we have March and we have August, and then there's an October in there that I try to make it to, but it's always iffy. And so this is my nice right in the middle where I get to see everyone again.
Come on, right? This is a community that sees itself when we clump together for we're like a great Roman regiment. We clump together like a turtle, and then we go forward and do all the battles. So I'm going to wrap up my little sort of bit here. I would really encourage everybody to just make the most out of the holidays. Take the time away from work, take the time with family and friends, do some gaming, roll some dice. I'd so often talk about this community simply because I have witnessed gaming communities come and go for the last 40 odd years. And I've never, ever been a part of a community as welcoming, as wholesome, as decent, and as gosh darn over the top friendly as the DCC community. And so if we can do something sort of silly like this and have a good time with this, you have found your family. You said your found family. I wholeheartedly agree, right? I oftentimes, it's hard to describe when you find DCC and you pick it up, like 10-year-old me can remember coveting a copy, 12-year-old me can remember coveting Molly Hatchet's Flirtin' with Disaster. My friend Dean Adams got it, and we played it over and over and over again while we were going through all the G modules. And the first time I picked up the DCC rulebook, there's like that shot of lightning, right? It's like thunder snow. When you hear lightning in the middle of a snowstorm, and you're just like, what the hell was that? And you pick up DCC, and I got it at Gen Con, and I went back to my room that night, and I opened it up, and the next thing I knew, it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had just gone page after page after page after page. And I just had that, oh crap moment, I'm in. And so it doesn't matter who you are or where you are, how old you are, how young you are. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They say they say there's sounds that only dogs can hear, and I would say that there is a siren call to DCC that only the right people missing the right chromosome can hear. And
I agree.
And that, I mean, we always hashtag not cult, but
hashtag not a cult.
Hashtag probably. It's something that once you find it and it ingratiates itself into your life and it sets up on your favorite chair and it puts its feet up and it's never going to leave, and you don't mind, because what it brings is something unique, something beloved, and something you can share. And if those aren't the best presents under the tree or the menorah, I just simply don't know what is. So
agreed. This is, and you know, like I said earlier, I can't have everyone that means the world to me on here, but I can have a few, and the rest of you at home watching or watching on YouTube later or whatever you may be doing, just know that if you are part of this community and you are welcoming to the rest of the members of this community, you are my found family. We all feel the same way, and welcome to the folds of this nightmare that we call our found family. All of you are my family, and I can't say that to each and every one of you because I'd be here for days, but you are my family. Happy holidays. If wherever holiday you celebrate, wherever you're doing that, whatever situation you are in, you are loved and you are family. And that, I think, is the perfect time to ask you, Mr. Kitchen. What
yes,
is the
please.
7th Doom Quest of Delilah Croom?
What is the 7th Doom Quest of Delilah Crew? Returning something to Target without a receipt.
There you have it, folks. It ranges. It ranges from.
I mean, if you can think of a lower level in hell, a lower plane in hell than a Target return without a receipt. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like you. It would be returning something to Target without a receipt on December 26th at 9 o'clock in the morning.
He's added stakes, people. It
Good
is
luck.
Christmas, post-Christmas, Target run to a hospital trip with Joseph Goodman's son and anything in between and everything in between. And Harley wasn't here to talk about it, but it's something very new and exciting coming to you soon. With that, I don't think it's a we'll be right back this time. I think it's have a very happy holiday season, everyone. I love you all. Stay warm, stay safe, and I look forward to rolling dice with you all in 2024.